Good afternoon. Today is the 9th of July and this is Barron's Classic Car Auctions in Marchwood near Southampton. This is their July or summer sale and we shall be going round the lots in order and seeing what they've got as we normally do. I apologise in advance if I get things wrong, if I fall over, it's just the way that it goes on this channel. I gather this has had a lot of interest. It's the first lot of the entire sale. It's a 1986 Suzuki SJ413. I know these are the Samurai. I don't know if this is a Japanese or a Spanish built one actually. They did build them in Spain. Guide price on this is £5,000 to £6,000. I cannot remember the last time I saw one in this sort of condition. I mean, it's got some stone chips along the front edge of the bonnet that have been touched in, which you can't really see on video particularly, but apart from that, it's really, really good. The biggest problem with these was the rust, like so many Japanese cars of the 1980s. This one's still got the sort of stickers and things on the side. It's amazing, really. 413, I think, designates a 1.3 litre engine, just had a new timing belt in it. 5-speed manual, proper low-range gearbox, two little jump seats at the back. I suppose they even have seat belts in them. They do, yeah, with lap belts. I remember going on one of these. In 1992, my mother had one of these as a courtesy car because one of my friends worked for a Suzuki and Honda dealership in Southampton, and she was allowed to borrow it. It wasn't one of these. It was Samurai, same colour though, I think, or very similar colour. Very basic, but really rather enjoyable. Soft top looks good. Just go around the back and actually see all the bits are here, playable on the back. Very, very charming car. It's been very agricultural, but that was the point, wasn't it, with something like this? It wanted to be sort of tough and able to go anywhere, and they really can. They're very capable. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it's particularly me, this. I think the JX stood for some equipment as opposed to probably nothing on the base models. But yeah, very nice. Lot number 102 is the motorbikes. We're straight on to lot number 103. This 1989 Ford Escort XR3i. It's like an old friend. We've seen it many, many times before. Some of the bits on it are incorrect. The indicators should be orange, the Ford badge should be blue, for example, but it's not got any rust on it. Service history is a little bit lacking. The wheels on it, I've heard different things about it. I think they're sort of okay for this period of XR3i. Gear knob needs changing and things like that. Stereo panels in there. I don't know why none of you have bought this, to be honest. I have absolutely no idea. It might be something to do with the fact that actually this had a cap marker against it, which has now been cleared. It was showing as stolen. That is not correct. It has not been stolen, and so that's now been cleared. It's something to do with that. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else to sort of say. It just sort of needs a few bits. If it's a my car, just sort of changing to put it back to more standard, but you know, these should be some things that you know, are actually more valuable than just no reserve should be. We'll see what happens. Goodness gracious me, viewers, from one Escort to another one. Lot number 105, a 1986 Escort 55 van. It's a petrol one. And yeah, it's got some work that needs doing on it. I don't think I can remember the last time I saw one of these actually. I mean, I see Escorts around at shows, but not the van version. It's a very, very early one. I think they actually came out on a C plate, and this is a very early date. It's actually August 1986, this one. Bit less kind of exciting than the XR3i perhaps. I mean, you can make an XR3i van if you really want. So yeah, we need to tidy this up a bit, don't we? We need some bits doing on this. But yeah, it's estimated at £5,500 to £6,500. Are these really what these are actually worth in this sort of condition? Let me know in the comment section below. Oh, now viewers, now we're talking. Guide price £3,000 to £5,000, so less than the Escort van. A 1991 Jaguar XJS V12 HE. I think I know what I prefer out of those two. Particularly because this one has a beige leather interior with wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. That is, well, rather nice. See if it's actually got the little hyphen between the J and the S. Yeah, so it's a very, very late sort of XJ with the hyphen S, because in 1991 they made some changes to these cars and they just called them the XJS without the hyphen. I wouldn't say this is perfect by any means. There are other XJSs in the sale today that I think I would prefer, but this sort of money, I prefer the 6-cylinders simply because they're a bit cheaper to run, but I like that very, very much, viewers. I think I'd rather have that than the Escort van. It actually looks pretty solid as well. So now we have this 1976 MG Midget. I think this has been re-entered from an earlier sale as well, the 107. I'm trying to work out with this whether this actually is a late registration or is a rubber bumper car that's been converted to a chrome bumper. I think this still has the A series in it, so it's actually very, very late Mark III, I think, and the registration's a little bit later. You look at things like the dash and will sort of indicate that it is just a very late one of those, because the dash and the Triumph engine cars, which came about, I think in 75 it was, that was different. The gear lever looks very similar to the one with the Triumph gearbox though, so I don't know what's going on, who knows. Estimate on this is not very high. It is £1,500 to £2,500. We're talking almost no budget reviews money here, viewers. We have got some sort of funny paint going on here, if you can just about see that. But it doesn't actually look too rusty at all. There's little bits here and there, but there's really not that much, considering how they could be. Yeah, if you wanted to run it around and take it to shows and things like as it is, it would be good, or you could improve it. Be up to you. Lot number 108, a 1995 TVI Chimera, estimate £4,500 to £5,500. I did not realise that the Chimeras were this sort of money. I mean, it's not the best example that I've seen, but it looks okay. Is this how you open the door? Is it this button here? Yes, it is. Ooh, a beige leather interior. Very nice. Dash is not in the best condition. But yeah, I mean, this is very, very cheap for something like this. I don't think I've seen one that's this cheap. There's probably a reason for that. It probably does need a bit of work, but the colour's nice. It'll have that nice V8 engine in it. I will just check to see if it comes with a private plate. Doesn't actually say, so I'm going to assume the private plate doesn't come with it. Doesn't have an MOT at the moment. It will need one. Last one was in 2022. But yeah, I mean, if you are feeling a bit brave and want some fun for the sun, that could be a good idea. The last lot was a motorcycle, so we're skipping that and we're going on to this one. This is a Ford Falcon Sprint convertible 260. It's a 1964, estimate between £7,000 and £10,000. Not really an expert on American cars, viewers, so I'll sort of take their word for it at that. I wouldn't be able to say. It does need probably a bit of restoration. You can see actually the paint is cracking and things like that on here. Rust isn't too bad. There's little bits that you can see here, but it's not really that bad. Interior, of course, it could do with retrimming and things. I don't think we ever got these over here, actually. Some other countries, I think Australia got these, for example, but I don't think we ever did. It's a big old thing. Even though Falcon was sort of on the small side, when you look at American Fords of the time, it's still a big old car, isn't it? Still, it looks like fun. Oh, it's got the column selector up there. It's very old-fashioned, isn't it? But it's charming. Yeah, I don't know much about these, to be honest. I see some of them at shows, probably in better condition than this, but yeah, it's a good basis for a bit of restoration, isn't it? Wow. A 1984 Volvo 265 GLE. I didn't realise there were called the 265s later. This is going to be the very, very last of these, because the V6 engines were then put into the 760. About 1982, I think they came out with those. So this would be one of the last of this body shell with this engine. It's automatic. The estimate on this is actually quite low. I'm sort of surprised, really. The look at this, 4 electric windows, got the 3-speed auto in it. We actually got air conditioning in this, so very, very high specified, as the 264s and the 265s were, the 262s. Bodywork is not the best. I mean, the paint is sort of all scratched, and we've got lacquer coming off here and things like that. These aren't bad for rust, actually. There is a little bit of rust on this car, but it's not too bad. You can see we've got the very prominent grille there that was on the 264s and 265s. GLE is the luxury specification for this model. When they were discontinued, I think about 84 was about the last of these. They just went back to being called the 240. See a little bit of rust here, a little bit of rust sort of down here, which is a classic place where the doors go, but they're not bad actually. Have a look in the back, it's all leather and things like that. It reminds me so much of my mother's 240 that was a 1989, just a normal 4-cylinder one, a 2.3. The dash is still really, really similar. One thing they did do later on was move the radio up to that slot at the top. Why on earth they thought that the radio needed to be down there when it could be up the top of the dash? I don't know. I mean, I'd move that if I were me. That's quite good. I mean, I don't know what sort of money this is going to make. It's difficult. I think the estimate on this is about £2,500–3,500. And you know, you got sort of bits like this on here as well, which someone's attempted to sort of fix. MOT's just been done. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before, actually. I've seen lots of 240s in my life, but not a 265. Next one, lot number 113, a 1971 Jensen Interceptor Mark III, which makes it about the same age as the car that was used in the old ITC series of Protectors by Robert Vaughan, which I think was also a 71 but on a J. This is going to be off with no reserve. I have absolutely no idea why this hasn't sold yet. It's been here a long time. I think it's probably worth about £30,000 or more, this car. I don't know why it's not sold. It is very, very nice. I mean, it's the sort of thing I'd like to try myself. These did rust pretty badly, but this has got no rust on it, and it's all been done properly. Got that Chrysler V8 in this. Bodywork looks good. I'm not massively keen on this colour. It is very sort of period. But yeah, maybe somebody will buy it this time. Oh, viewers, another XJS. This time it's a 1996 XJS 4-litre Celebration, so it's right at the end. Estimate £3,000 to £4,000, and once again we have a beige leather interior with wood and piping. Very, very nice indeed. Passenger airbag in this car. 4-litre would be my preference. This is a bit of me, really. This it's not perfect by any means, but it looks good. Tiny little bit of sort of rust maybe coming through there, but not really anything at all. But maybe there's nothing. Just being very picky. But this is superb. This is absolutely amazing. Is it really going to go for £3,000 to £4,000? I mean, it might need some work. But it's really lovely. I've been driven an XJS myself, a V12. It was good, but I think for me, this would be better. So if the Celebration was right at the end, 1996 was the last year for these cars, before the XK8 came out. Yeah, I'm going to have to prevent myself from bidding on that, viewers. Otherwise my lady wife will be very, very upset if I suddenly win that and take it home with me. This is a very strange thing. Lot number 115, a 1937 Austin 7 Ulster boat-tail replica, a true one-off. I mean, you can look at the front of it and see the downward slanting grille and things like that. It is MOT exempt. Look at this, different dash, different gearbox. So it is on an Austin 7 chassis. It is on a 37. We've got hydraulic brakes, all new brake pipes, new master cylinder, front axle's been overhauled. Engine is actually an 850cc Reliant engine. 12 volt electrics, body completely new. All temperature and pressure gauges need to be connected. The starter buttons are dummy, headlights need adjusting. The clutch needs sorting out, but that doesn't look too bad. £5,000 to £6,000. What's this actually worth? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. Yeah, it looks like a bit of fun. Tyres look all new. I mean, is this the sort of thing you're interested in, viewers? I don't know. It's probably not me exactly, but some of you it might be. And then a 1960 Peugeot 403 pickup. 403s, I think, were made until about 1965. So this is sort of somewhere in the kind of middle of the run, although the pickups continued later, like the 404s did when they were made. Left-hand drive, of course. Guide price of this is £7,000 to £8,000. I'm not even sure if he's sold over here actually. I think the 403s were sold over here, but maybe not the pickups. Before you say it, yes, I know Colombo had a convertible one of these, didn't he? Column shift, I think that is in there. Wow. You can hear the old-fashioned engineering in this. It's very charming. It's not particularly me or anything, but that is very charming. Right, in amongst all these motorbikes, we find a 2005 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8 FQ, which, yeah, it stands exactly for exactly what you think it is. The FQ 320, because it's very, very quick. Estimate £21,000 to £25,000. I've driven an Evolution 10, which is a bit newer than this, but this will be sort of similar to drive, won't it? It'll be really, really quick. Limited edition number 207. Smells quite good in there actually. Yeah, I mean you've got all the sort of toys and locking differentials and big turbos and all sorts of things, so making that very, very quick indeed over virtually every terrain. It's not perhaps me, but I understand why somebody would want that. So, a 1972 MG Midget. This one has the round arches. Again, a Mark III. Yeah, similar interior to the other one, so I'm saying that that is also an A series engine one. I have driven one of these. I do a 68 one, which is a bit different from this, but largely kind of similar. I can't believe this is £2,000 to £3,000. I mean, the paint is, well, it's not very good. You can see it; it's just crazed everywhere. Little bit of rust coming through, but I wouldn't say necessarily this is all that serious particularly. Someone's fitted some door handles to help close the doors a bit better, but not the easiest cars to get in and out of these, particularly if you are on the larger side. But yeah, I wonder if that will fetch a bit more than £2,000 to £3,000. We'll have to see. More MG action of roughly the same period. 1968 MGC GT. I do like this one. I don't know again why it's not sold yet. The reserve has been reduced. Estimate is now £18,000 to £20,000. Lovely steering wheel. Mini-like style wheels on it. Distinctive MGC bonnet bulge. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Again, it seems to be like that cars like this, the prices are a bit depressed at the moment, so maybe now is the time to pick up a bargain. Next we have this 1964 Ford Anglia 105E, lot number 125, which was on the thumbnail for last month's video. This is no longer a 105E technically, it's made like a 123 because it's got the 1.2 engine in it now. Originally it would have been a 1000cc engine. 64 with the sort of jukebox style dash. The estates are quite rare. I don't see too many of those. Definitely the deluxe model though with a full width grille. Don't know why it didn't sell last month. Estimate £7,000 to £9,000. Will it sell this time? Who knows? Interesting. A 1991 Dodge Ram 250 day van. Estimate £6,000 to £7,000. So less than the Ford Anglia. It's pretty good actually. Imported in 2003 apparently. Yeah, looks like it's all very tidy. Look at these windows, it's Strange. What if it's open? It might not be. No, it's not. Ooh, very sort of typical Mopar steering wheel. Cruise control. Wow. I mean, it's absolutely huge, isn't it? Look at the size of that. It's not going to be the most economical car, but yeah, it might be a sort of thing that you want to reenact Home Alone. I think we used to use these as vans in Home Alone and other films like that back in the day. Lot number 127, a 1978 Chevy Corvette. I hope you've seen this before, viewers. This one, again, I don't know why I bought this. No reserve this time. Yeah, it looks okay. There's actually another one in here as well, the same sort of period. I think I prefer the other one, to be honest, but no reserve. What's this worth? I suppose, again, in a couple of days' time, we will find out, won't we? Next, 1966 Bedford CA Dormobile. Romany it's called. I mean, the bodywork is not the best. We've still got the filming plate on the front of this. Or has it been removed? Yeah, it's still on there, the filming plate. The real plate's on the back. Estimate £79,000. Also £78,000 this one. A little bit like the Anglia inside there. Are we open or are we not? No. It's a shame. Look, you can have lots of fun in here, all sorts of things in here, like a 60s kitchen as well. Again, it's not really me, this sort of stuff, but that is very charming indeed. More unusual Bedford commercials. This is a 1954 Bedford A-Type, imported from Australia in 2021, and it is registered fully in this country. Engine there looks very simple to work on. This sort of rat look going on here. I imagine it's sort of solid if it paint peeling a bit. I can imagine that, you know, seeing these at shows and stuff, somebody would like to sort of do this load bed and things like that. Well, there's a hole in it. Yeah, it's hard to say really, but one estimate what this is really worth. I mean, it's the sort of thing that you'd be after. I'm not sure it's particularly me again, but there we go. Ooh, a 1978 Reliant Scimitar, and no, we're not allowed to make the connection between this car and a member of a certain family. That connection is banned on this channel. We can say is that this car has had a lot of work done to it. Both outriggers replaced, reconditioned power steering rack, new front springs and shocks, front suspension polybushed, fibre camshaft gear replaced with alloy type, new heater matrix, 4 new tyres, alignment set, and a fresh MOT. Everything works apart from the radio. This is estimated at £5,500–6,500. Imagine you'll have the 3-litre Essex engine in it. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at all, actually. Ah, Mr. Quirk from your Planet Auto channel will be happy with this. It's a 1991 Mercedes, what's a 230 CE, not C230 it says in here, but definitely not a C230. Yeah, I drove one of these. It was actually a 220 rather than a 230. This only estimated at I think £2,500 to £3,500. This one, not the 132. That looks okay, but that rear screen's going to need replacing. It's delaminating, but it looks alright. I didn't realise these were that sort of money. I thought they were a bit more than this, but yeah, that looks nice enough. They're quite nice to drive, these actually. Lot number 134, a 2005 Mini Cooper S convertible. One owner from new, a lady owner apparently. 57,000 miles. It's got the chili pack on it. So we'll have the 1.6 Tritec supercharged engine in this. I've never actually driven a convertible Mini of this generation. I think it's called the R52. I have driven an R53 Cooper S, which is, well, it's quite fast. Again, maybe not particularly me. I'm not really an expert on the Minis and things, but yeah, it looks like it's in actually very good condition. These have some kind of classic status now, but they're still relatively affordable, so that might be a good option. Just going to make sure that everything works. So, registered in Austin Morris, as many of the Minis were in the late 70s. This is a 79. It started life as a Clubman, but it's had a different front end put on it. Minivan. Definitely not the normal minivans actually, because of the doors, which are sort of Mark III Mini type doors. Whereas until 82, when the vans were discontinued, they kept the original doors off a Mark I. The front end though, with this sort of pressed steel grille and things like that, is definitely sort of Mark 1. So it's sort of bits and pieces of different cars, but that's okay. Estimate on this is £7,500 to £8,500. Typical kind of dash of the interior that you don't get really much at all. Typical sort of houndstooth seat fabric. Yeah, again, I don't think this is particularly me, but you know, there are people out there like Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel who do find these sorts of things quite intriguing. A 2005 Jaguar S-Type V6 SE automatic. This is a facelifted one. Is it open, viewers? Is it open? Oh, yes. That means we get to sample the beige leather interior with wood. With electric steering column and dual zone climate control and all sorts of other tasty things. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers, particularly as the estimate on this is only £1,000 to £2,000. So is this going to go for no budget reviews money? Well, that's up to people who decide, isn't it, on the day. Lot number 139, which is a lovely BMW 30. It's a 1988 316 two-door, estimate £5,000 to £7,000. Having recently driven an E30 two-door, it's a 320i from 1984, I can tell you that these cars are super wonderful to drive, super wonderful. This one is not perfect, neither was the one I drove. You can see got bits like this on here, paint looks a bit flat, we've got evidences of repairs down here. So it's not perfect or anything, it will need tidying up, or you could just drive it as it is. Gosh, 316, just the bottom of the range with the carburettor. I think we need a new seat as well. That shouldn't be too difficult though. That gear leaves off a lady BMW, isn't it? What's the mileage on here? Can we see? 117,000 miles, which isn't much. Original Blaupunkt stereo. I think in these, the stereo would have been an option anyway. BMW were very mean with the standard equipment back in the 1980s, so that would have been something you had to specify back in the, when you ordered your car. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to see how much that goes for. So, a bit cheaper here. Something I've never actually driven in my life. I've never reviewed one of these. I should have done, but I haven't. This is a 2002 Audi TT. This is the 180 PS engine. Some of you will be able to tell that immediately anyway, looking at the back of it, because we haven't got twin exhausts like on a 225 PS model. Is this open? Well, it is. 6-speed manual. This is actually a Quattro version, so it's got 4-wheel drive. A few Mark IV Golf bits on there, because the platform's based on a Mark IV Golf. No problem with that, really. That looks really nice, actually, for £1,800 to £2,500. I wonder if you could still pick up a first-generation TT for no budget reviews money. This is a bit nicer than that, but yeah, still looks pretty affordable to me. One thing I've realised with Barron's Classic Car Auctions, they like classic Saab 900s, and here is another one. It's a 1992 900 16-valve turbo convertible, estimate £5,500 to £7,000. It's not perfect by any means. You can see actually the corner bumper is a little bit damaged there, but it's okay. It's been sort of touched in. Wow. Yeah, ignition key on the floor. I have driven one of these actually. It was only the base model saloon from 1983, a GL model. This is a bit more serious, the Turbo S 16-valve convertible with a boost gauge prominently on the dash just there. I quite like that view. The drum position of these is a bit weird. It's a bit offset on the manual right-hand drive models. I prefer an automatic for that reason, but some of you will think that is wonderful. I understand why. So, very, very last one in here. This 1973 Chevy Corvette V8 Stingray. C3 Corvette, I think. Look at the dash, the way it sort of slopes backwards, presumably to give you a better view of your instruments if there's sunlight and there's glare. Yeah, £19,000 to £20,000 the estimate on this. The bodywork's not perfect. The fiberglass is sort of crazing in places and sort of pitting, as you can maybe see a little bit. There we go. It actually is picking up on camera. Yeah, imported in 2019. So this is over 50 years old now, this car. Again, I'm not really sure this is particularly me, but I like the colour and the shape of it. That's really nice. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more incorrect information and dreadful wind noise as well.